Hello students, today we are dealing with class 12th biology, reproduction in flowering plants part 7th. So this is the last part and we will conclude this chapter. First we can see the structure of some seeds which we saw in the last class, and the B figure is fruits. So today we will deal with fruits. In the B figure we can see some fruits. So first there is apple. So apple is formed from thalamus. A thalamus is a cup-shaped structure below the flower on which parts of flower are attached. So the fruit which develops from part other than ovary, or the edible part is other than ovary, it is called a false fruit. So apple is a false fruit. In the second diagram we can see transverse section of apple. In this we can see thalamus is outside, it is the edible part, and the mesocarp is inside, it is non-edible. And in the third figure we can see strawberry. So strawberry is also a false fruit because the edible part is thalamus. So strawberry has many fruits. So it is called achene. It is a group of fruits. Now we will come to definition of fruits. The ovary develops into a fruit. Transformation of ovule into seed and ovary into fruit proceeds simultaneously. So this process undergoes together. Ovule forms seed and at the same time ovary also forms fruit. The wall of ovary forms wall of fruit, which is called pericarp. Now fruits may be of two types according to presence of pulp in them: fleshy, which have juice and the mesocarp is fleshy; guava, orange and mango; and dry, in which the mesocarp or middle layer is dry. They do not have any juice and pulp. It is groundnut and mustard. Many fruits have evolved mechanism for dispersal of seeds. So many fruits have evolved many ways by which seeds can be transferred from one place to another. You might have seen cotton, in which the seeds are dispersed through air in the form of parachute-like structures. It is called parachute mechanism. In most plants, after fruit formation, other floral parts degenerate and fall off. So in most plants, when the fruit is formed, the sepal and petals, they fall off. Now false fruits. So we just saw that in some species like apple, strawberry and in cashew also, the thalamus contributes to formation of fruit. So the ovary is not forming the fruit, the thalamus contributes to fruit formation. Such fruits are called false fruits. Here we can see a dry fruit of corn or maize and a fleshy fruit of peach. In this we can see that the mesocarp is fleshy in peach, while in corn it is dry, just like a thin layer. Now here we can see a false fruit of cashew. The cashew we can see it is at the bottom and it is the thalamus, and the sole and upper part, which is also called the cashew apple, it is actually the main fruit. So we know that we take the lower part, which is actually the thalamus. Now these are the mechanisms for dispersal of seeds. We can see by animals. So squirrel, it feeds on fruits and the seeds are dispersed through the excreta. Birds also, they feed on fruits and the seeds are released through excreta wherever they go. In dogs we can see that the seeds are attached to the fur. By wind we can see that plants have wings. In some plants explosion or bursting take place on drying. and by water. We can see that the fruits are released in water, they break down and seeds are dispersed. So there are different mechanisms of transfer of seeds. Now true fruits. So in most fruits, ovary develop into fruits. So mostly ovary forms the fruit. Example is mango and guava. Such fruits are called true fruits. Then parthenocarpic fruits. So in some species, the fruits develop without fertilization. It means that the male and female gamete do not fuse. Only the female gamete or egg forms the fruit directly. It can also be induced by application of growth hormones like auxin and gibberellin. Such fruits are seedless. They do not have seeds or not well developed seeds. Example is banana. Now what is the advantage of seed to the plant? First, the events of pollination and fertilization are independent of water. So these processes do not depend on water. So seed formation is more dependable. It means that seed formation is possible. It is very easy to form the seed because they do not depend on water all the time. Seeds have better adaptation for dispersal to new habitats. So we just saw that seeds can be transferred to new places easily. They have sufficient food which gives them nutrition. So the embryo can get nutrition till it cannot photosynthesize. So because it is young, it does not have leaves, it cannot perform photosynthesis. So it gets food from the embryo, from the endosperm inside the seed. Now the hard seed coat provides protection to young embryo. The seeds are products of sexual reproduction. So they generate new combinations. Because they are formed by fusion, there is variation in a seed. Seeds are the basis of agriculture. And we know that they are used as food and also to raise crop in the next season. Now viability of seeds after dispersal. So viability of seeds mean the ability to germinate and produce a new plant. So it varies with different plants. In some species, viability is for a few months. In many plants, the viability is for several years, like grains. In some, they have 100 years viability. And the oldest viable seed was of lupine, which is called Lupinus arcticus. It is the scientific name. It was excavated or found in Arctic tundra region, very cold area. It germinated and flowered after 10,000 years of dormancy. And the recent record is of date palm. The scientific name is Phoenix dactylifera. It is 2000 years old and it was excavated or found near Dead Sea. Now some fruits have large number of seeds. They have many thousands of seeds. Example are orchids and ficus. And some plants which are parasitic. The name is Orobank and Strega. These two plants are parasitic as well as they have thousands of seeds. So these are parasitic plant as well as they produce large number of seeds. So we must remember their name. Here we can see Orobank and Strega. Now apomixis. So when seeds develop without fertilization, it is called apomixis. Example is Asteraceae family, in which daisy comes. Sunflower is also found in this family and many grasses. Apomixis is a form of asexual reproduction. We can see that fertilization is not taking place, but it resembles sexual reproduction. Because seeds are found, so we think that it is sexual, but actually it is asexual. Apomictic seeds are formed when diploid egg cell is formed without reduction division. So when it happens, when egg cell formed is diploid, it is not haploid. And how it is formed? If meiosis does not take place during its formation and it develops into embryo without fertilization. So the diploid egg cell directly forms the embryo. Now apomixis has application in agriculture. We know that many hybrid seeds are produced and they have combined characters of two plants. But if we grow the hybrids, each year we see that the plants get new characters. Why? Because the pollen from another plant can land on the hybrid plant. So how can we maintain the hybrid characters? We can make the seed into apomix so that the characters will be pure and the hybrid characters will not segregate or group with other characters. So apomictic seeds must be used to retain the hybrid characters. It is under research. Polyembryony. Now many ovules or seeds contain embryos, many embryos. So we see that in some plants the ovule contains many embryos, more than one. So how it is produced? Some nucellar cells. We know that nucellus is a tissue which surrounds embryo sac. So some nucellar cells surrounding the embryo sac start dividing. They start dividing and protrude into embryo sac. Protrude means to come out, to extend. So they enter the embryo sac and develop into embryos. So the main embryo was there as well as the nucellus cell. They also enter the embryo sac and start dividing. Example is many citrus plants like lemon, orange and mango varieties. Okay children, so we conclude this chapter. Thanks.